We should be live. I think. I tried to get the intro going. Something's going on with OBS Studio, so we'll skip the intro and we will just, that mic might be hot. Yeah, so we're just going to pop in and do a random live stream. You might hear some noises. That's Trooper playing with the cat. He was whining in the house in the other room, so I let him. Trooper! Okay, no more. God, this is going to be annoying. Okay, and distracting. So, okay, no more. Today we're going to talk about trauma and just a little bit my experience with it. As a kid, just yesterday we met, did a Zoom meeting. There's quite a few of us did a Zoom meeting with a couple from England, I believe, somewhere over in Europe, and they had it was a really good Zoom meeting. I don't know what you would call it, but they I don't know. They talked to us and how to work through some trauma and abuse and stuff like that we go through as kids. But I shared my story. You guys can. Am I live, babe? Am I live? I hope I'm live. Oh, yep, I'm live. Green Hubs. Thanks for letting me know. So I'm just going to share my experience, and I know this sounds like something women deal with only, but okay. But it's for men too. Men struggle with this. So there's so many. Everybody has to deal with it. But I'm going to go get rid of the dog because him and the cat are very distracting. Tripper, come on, buddy. Come on. Tripper. Okay, good boy. I think this one will be fine because she likes playing with Trooper as well, but they're just being noisy. Are you going to be okay? Huh? All right. She's out. So yeah, things happen in our childhood that affect us for the rest of our life. It changes us for the rest of our life. And I know a lot of people aren't really interested maybe in this stuff or don't think it's important. But if you want to be a healthy individual, you want to have a healthy character, a healthy personality. It's critical. It's critical to know some of this stuff. And we are going to this couple, David and Nikita. They nailed it. Like they went through it, and they can help a lot of people. I don't know if there's a way to get a hold of them, but I'll share that if it's possible. The live stream was recorded. The Zoom meeting was recorded, so that will be going up onto Amish Rescue Mission's YouTube channel. Why are you staring at me? You guys are distracting. What? No, am I live streaming? You want to say hi? Well, we gotta go around. You want to say hi? If it's not the dog, it's the daughter.
Hi.
You haven't met her. This is Miranda. She is in quite a few videos.
Goodbye.
Yep. Go take care of the dog. So yeah, this is important stuff. Sorry for the distraction, guys.
How rude.
And it's good to seek these things out in our childhood and deal with them. So let me explain this. If you guys have questions, just pop them up there and I'll answer them later. But I can only, a lot of people deal with maybe an abusive father or even abusive mother or sex abuse or verbal abuse, whatever it may be. A lot of people grow up in alcoholic homes and all this stuff. And we children were very vulnerable in those times. And that affects us. Sometimes we take the blame, and sometimes, we act out and all that, all the different stuff. I'm not going to go into all the details. This is a massive, massive subject here. That this stuff could be discussed forever. But yeah, I'll just share my story, what I dealt with, which when I look back at it now is kind of comical, but but it affected me. It really did. And one thing David and Nikita said, David didn't remember his childhood much because his childhood sucked. His dad left and all that. So yeah, he just didn't like his childhood, so he didn't remember much of it. And that's kind of the case with me. I remember bits and pieces, but I didn't like my childhood. I didn't like it. And it it wasn't because I grew up in a bad environment. I should have had a very healthy and positive childhood, but because of something that happened to me before I even realized I existed, it took me down a different path. And my whole life I felt like in my testimony, I have 2 videos I share my testimony. One is a longer version, one's a shorter one, but in there I share, I felt like my whole life I felt like I had two wheels in the ditch trying to keep up with everybody else on the freeway. So, and a lot of these things, the most of these things, when that happens to us kids, when we're children, that we can't help it. We can't help it, yet we still have to, when we get older, we have to deal with it. So, yeah, so if you're interested in any of this, I think it could help a lot of people. I think David and Nikita, just that video that Zoom meeting could help a lot of people, tons of people. So if you're interested, follow along, and I'm going to try to keep it short. My laptop battery, I don't have that much. I am a bit lazy. I don't want to go get the charger. so we'll run this battery down and then just stop. But yeah, go ahead, put any questions you have in the comments below, and I'll get to those all later. Yeah, so you may be wondering what did happen to me as a kid, a child. Well, as most of you know, I was born and raised Amish in an Amish family, and my parents are great, not perfect, but really good parents. My dad would give the shirt off his back to anybody, and my mom was always wanted to spend time with us to show us that we're loved, right? So that might be because that's her love language is quality time. But she made an effort to make sure that we knew we were loved by them, by her at least. So my dad, he never really showed it. Most Amish men don't. We're never told, even by my mom, we're never told that we're loved. That we never heard "I love you" or anything like that as kids growing up. That would be just something that never happens in an Amish family. Although I hear it all the time from my siblings. So I think it might be a new thing in this community here in Shipshewana. They might actually be telling their kids they love them, and hopefully that keeps spreading because it's important. Stricter communities probably still not hearing it. Yeah, so raised in an Amish family, not abusive parents. They might have argued more than they should have, so it might have emulated a little bit of an atmosphere of an alcoholic home. Apparently, alcoholics, homes with alcoholics, as parents, there's a lot of arguing and fighting, and the kids have to deal with that. So maybe a little bit of that, but what happened was my sister, who's a little over a year and a half older than me, mom and dad had my sister, and then a year and a half later they had me, and then a year and a half after that they had a set of twins. So everything was good. My sister, me, when we were there, mom had time to spend time with us as needed and all that stuff. But then when the twins were born, all of a sudden she had 4 kids in diapers. And that's overwhelming. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. We don't have a farm, so my dad has to leave to work to make a living. So what happened was she had to now focus on the newborn twins, and me and my sister just kind of got pushed to the side or set to the side. She didn't this is something, it keeps coming up in my testimony, and I wish I would have clarified it. This is something that would be expected. This is just something that naturally happened, was out of her control. She still tried her best to give us attention, but obviously she had much, much less time. You want in? Go ahead. Are you listening in? So she had a lot less time. She just couldn't.
Sorry.
So I do not hold this against my mom. I would not have expected her to ditch the twins and take care of us, right? This is just the circumstances of life. And yeah, this is why now when I look back at this moment, why I find it so comical, because when that happened, when she had to redirect her attention to the twins and we didn't get as much, I just kind of took it and silently went my way. And in that moment, I was abandoned, right? In my little 18-month-old eyes or mind. Mom abandoned me because I no longer have the attention I used to, and the love and the whatever I used to get from her. So that was a huge turning point for the rest of my life. And I didn't know this my whole life until I was in probably almost 30 years old. And the only reason I know is because as I got older, I knew something was wrong with me. Like I said, two wheels in the ditch trying to keep up with everybody else. I started searching and some psychology and some Christian counseling books and stuff like that. And I started searching and I found out, okay, so I have abandonment issues. Where do those come from? And I figured, well, maybe, I was really close to my grandpa when he died at 5. So I asked my mom, is that where my abandonment issues come from? When grandpa died, how did I react to that? Because I barely remember that myself. She was like, no. And she told me what happened when I was 18 months old, when the twins were born. And she knew. That's why I'm not blaming this on my mother. No one should blame this on my mother. Other people in the comments in my videos were kind of doing that. And I wish I would have clarified it more, because my mother can't be blamed for that. I think personally, I think it was just a circumstance. God allowed it to shape me into who I am today. And thank God that I searched it out and tried to find the problem. I figured out what was wrong with me so that I am now healthier today. Hopefully this is not too confusing. So yeah, so what did that do? What did that do to me at 18 months old when I was abandoned? Well, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And I was very, very insecure my whole life. All through school, up until almost 30 years old. I was insecure and never felt like I was good enough. I had no reason to feel that way, but that's just how I felt. Why wasn't my sister affected? Well, these moments, this stuff affects everybody differently. My sister reacted. I don't know if it reacted. I don't know. Maybe it did affect her. I don't know. We never discussed it. I never discussed it with my sister, but she handled it differently than I did. So my whole life, I'm thinking I never felt good enough. I never felt like, we grew up as kids, and I've never, even my own brothers and sisters, I never felt like they liked me as much. And then, I go into, like they didn't want to play with me as much as the other siblings, or, I just wasn't, they were putting up with me basically because I'm their brother. That's the only, that was my thought pattern. There was no thinking about it really, but that's just kind of how I felt. Like, well, the only reason people deal with me is because, well, I'm just here and they have to. So, and then I go to school, and I have friends and stuff, but I never, I always thought like, well, the only reason they're hanging out with me is because they feel sorry for me. They have to be nice, right? They're Amish kids, and they're taught to be nice, and they have to include me. My whole life. Uh, After the friends, basketball was the thing in school. So when when the church boys, after church, they would go play basketball somewhere, they would ask me and my brother if we want to come along and play basketball. And I always felt, well, they're just asking me because they want to make teams even, or need more players or something. They don't actually really want me there. It's just they want to they want to even out the teams, or they want more players instead of just 2-on-2 or something. So I'm guessing a lot of you guys can relate. But so that was my whole childhood, and it, it was never the case. Nobody ever thought that way, I don't think. I never asked anybody, but I doubt they ever thought that way. And and it's so stupid now, now looking back, but that was just how it was, So how that also that affected me in relationships, or like with friends and stuff. Most Amish kids, as they're growing up, they get a set of couple guys that they always hang out with at school, and then it might change when they're 16, but they'll have a group of guys they always hang out with. But I never did. I never allowed myself to get too close to guys, because I was afraid that what if they abandoned me. I didn't know this at the time. I was always wondering why, because I had different sets of friends. I just did my own thing. I hung out with these guys sometimes. I hung out with these guys sometimes, and then over here. But I never committed to a group that always hung out. I feel bad for some of my friends now, like Davey and stuff. I probably should have done more, but I just wasn't aware that that's kind of why I was doing it. It was just inside of me. I was afraid that they're going to ditch me, and that's going to suck, and I don't want to deal with that. So I protected myself by distancing myself, and not feeling good enough. And where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, not feeling good enough, or not feeling like somebody. I just lost my train of thought again. Yeah, I would try to make myself as small. Maybe this was because, yeah, I don't know. I would try to make myself as small as possible, meaning not be a burden on other people. And I'm still that way today. It not necessarily a bad thing, but I always trying to not cause any issues with anybody, or cause anybody ever any trouble ever, or ever be a burden to anybody in any way. So I was always trying to make myself as small and kind of invisible as possible. So it also leaked. It also this also went with me into my work life. And when I started working for people, started employing it, and it actually was a positive, although it was kind of hard. But it turned out to be a positive there, because I would do work, and I go to work, especially like at Jayco, where I spent 11 years here in Indiana, 3 in Idaho. But here in Indiana, I would always think that I'm not doing good enough. I always got to do better. I got to do better. I got to try. So I tried harder, did more work, tried faster, tried to get done faster so I could go help people, because I need to do better. I need to do better. Then they made me a swingman, which, you don't volunteer for that position. They come out, they discuss it among the bosses, and they come out and they discuss it, see who's the best, see what their best options are as swingmen, best workers, and then they choose the best option. They come out and ask them. And it's an honor to be asked to be a swingman or a group leader. I know that sounds kind of foreign, because in most workplaces you have to apply for those jobs, stepping up, jobs. But they didn't do that there. And So I was blown away when they asked me. I was just completely blown away because I figured I would be the last one that they would ask. But there again, so now I'm helping people out. I don't have a specific job. In the RV industry, you go in and you do the same job 25 times a day over and over and over, and you get really good and fast at it. Now I don't have a job. I'm free. I go help wherever somebody needs help, unless somebody takes a day off, and then I have to do his job, which is then extremely hard because I didn't do it every day, and I have to learn a job and try to keep up with everybody else, trying to do, you know, yeah, it's hard. Swingman might be sometimes one of the hardest jobs in the RV industry, other than just if you're swinging around helping people who are getting behind and stuff. But once again, just never thought I was doing good enough. So I would try harder and try harder and try harder. And it was stressful. It was a big weight. I enjoyed it for a while, but then it just became a huge weight. And at Jayco too, they had employee of the months. So once a month, whole complex wide, 1,600 employees or whatever it was, uh, they would choose. The person would get nominated, and they would choose, and it would go up to the bosses, the owners, and they would choose one employee for that month out of the whole complex. And I got it one time, never thinking I would deserve it, never expecting it. As a matter of fact, that's a good thing, I guess. But matter of fact, they called a meeting, like they did if somebody got employee of the month. They called a meeting, and then, and then on the way to the meeting, I was complaining, oh, why do we got to do this? We could have just two more RVs and then we could have gone home. Why do we have a meeting now? Blah, blah, blah. Let's not do this. Yeah. Imagine me blown away when my name got called. I just, that was the last thing I expected. I was never good enough. I never expected that. And I'm not trying to blow my own horn here because there's a lot of flaws. I have a lot of work to do, but um, I don't know where I was going with it. But it just went to show that like it didn't matter who, what group, or whatever situation I was in. It just that hindered me, all because of a couple twins, siblings being born, and that's why I look like it's so comical. I just wish I would have known about it sooner. I wish I would have stumbled across this couple, David and Nikita, and heard what they had to say when I was in my early 20s. Because when I started getting into my 20s, I started noticing that something's off, something's wrong with me, and I couldn't figure out what it could possibly be. I wasn't physically abused, I wasn't sexually abused. I wasn't. I didn't lose a father. My father didn't walk out, or my mother didn't walk. Nothing like that. It was a pretty ideal home. I look at my siblings and I maybe I'm biased, but I have some of the best siblings. Not perfect, but some of the best siblings you could have. Uh, so something was right in our home. But yeah, had I known the information that they were sharing in my early 20s, life would, it would have been easier. Because how I did find out was eventually then I met a girl and we were together for a while and then we broke up. Well, I finally, right, had committed myself to another person, full on relationship, right? And then she did what was the worst thing. The worst thing that could have happened is she broke up with. She abandoned me, right? She did the right thing. I'm glad it happened. But it to me, it was the end of the world because that just brought all that back and just confirmed that I can't trust people and I'm not good enough. So that sent me down into, the bottom of the pit. I hit rock bottom. I was praying to God to just take my life for a long time there. I wanted to be dead. I wanted to be done. I wanted out. I wanted done. But through that darkness, that's when I started looking into the psychology part, therapy, and all that stuff, and I started learning and finally realized what why I'm so insecure and why I'm just not good enough, and that changed, and it changed me. And after that, I started, every time those feelings came up, I'd be like, oh, well, it's just because of the, this ridiculous instant when I was 18 months old. That's what caused it. And now I can know where it's coming from and know that it's not good and it's not necessary, and that I am good enough. So, but the abandonment pain, just being abandoned, it stuck around for a while. It's painful. It's not fun. It's not fun going through this stuff, guys, for sure. And I dealt with pain for a long time, but that's because I was in a victim state. So why did this have to happen to me? I did nothing. What I didn't, I always did the best thing I could, tried to make the best decisions. I don't deserve this. Why, why is this happening to me? It's not fair. It's me. Nobody else is going through this, and I don't want this pain anymore. Until I finally just manned up and was like, all right, look, I told myself, um, the pain is part of your life. Now deal with it. And I decided, okay, well, this is just part of my life. I can either continue being in this semi-depressed mood, or I can just accept the pain and move on. So I decided to accept the pain and move on. And when the pain came, when a lot of times the pain would come back when I was depressed, or not depressed, when I was tired, or things weren't going good for that day or whatever, that would all come back, right? It's just your weakest state, and that's when Satan's going to attack. That's when he's going to try to get at you. So what I would do is I would just stop. This also happens a lot of times, like you get up to use the restroom at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I thought it was just me, but then I heard a brother in church share how that's when Satan tries to get at him. And I'm like, So it's probably when you're like half asleep or something. And so what I would do to deal with it is I would sit on the edge of the bed, or I would just sit there and I would imagine Jesus sitting right next to me. And I would just tell him about my pain. Be like, Jesus, like this hurts and I hate it. And it doesn't have to be aloud. Just whatever, just this hurts. It's basically a prayer. It's like, it's telling him, look, God, this hurts. It sucks. Take it from me. I wish you would take it from me. But whatever, and it always went away. It always went away until the next time. And it wasn't long, it wasn't long until I didn't deal with the pain anymore. Like it literally, it was just, that was how I dealt with it, by talking to Jesus like he was right there. And so Jesus does heal. You can't tell me he doesn't. Now, I know this, what I went through, it seems so insignificant and stupid compared to the abuse that some of you guys have encountered. And I'm sorry you have to go through that. You're not alone. There's help. You guys can get out of that. No matter how bad it is, just seek help. Good Christian counseling is the way to go. Good, solid Christian counseling. I would advise licensed if you can. Because sometimes Christian counseling can be just not good enough. But then on the other hand, licensed therapists who aren't Christians then also don't have the whole Jesus side of it, the healing part of Jesus, and that's very key to it all. So I would encourage you guys, if you're struggling with anything like that, search your childhood, go back, find out what happened, your dad left, he abused you, whatever it may be, and try to seek healing through that. Subscribe to the Amish Rescue Mission channel on YouTube. That video is going to be uploaded, I believe. I'll make sure, just search for it there. I'll try to share it on my channel as much as I can. There were some questions that were asked. I don't know how personal those are and how willingly people will want to share. But David and Nikita, they hit the nail on the head. And they talked about a father's blessing. I'm not sure what that is exactly yet, but I think that is basically we should all receive a father's blessing. So us boys at 13, 14 should always hear from our dad, like, look, young man, look, son, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I love you. You're good, right? What percentage of young boys hear that? Very, very small percent. Very small percent. Most of us never get anything like that from our fathers. Most of our daughters never get anything like that from our fathers. Most women never get that. They need it as well. Very much need it as well. So I think, a pastor can do that, just get a father's blessing, God the Father, the real Father's blessing through, a pastor or something. But David and Nikita share a little bit more on that. So, yeah, I hope that all made sense. And I don't know if there was anything more I wanted to say on that. How long have we been going? 30 minutes. I just wanted to share that it is hard to look back. It is hard to look back and look at your weaknesses and admit your weaknesses and look at your trauma again, but it is so worth it finding healing. I am now, maybe there's still some lingering traits from all that, but I am way far more confident in myself than I have ever been in my life. I believe in myself, and it took, I was 30 years old, which is sad, Had that happened 15 years prior, it would have been, life would be different. Now, now looking back, that hindrance, those two wheels in the ditch, also helped me. It shaped me who I am, and there's a lot of good that came out of that. So, I'm a good employee, right? Because of that, a solid employee at least, because of that. Otherwise, I might have been lazy. I don't know. So there's good that comes out of that. God can use all things for good too. But I just encourage you guys to seek healing and all that. So. If you can, watch for those videos, me sharing that stuff on YouTube here. It's powerful. It's needed. We live in town here. You don't even have to live in town. But I walk. I see people all the time. We tend to judge people. There's a 35-year-old guy. He has green hair and his pants are sagging. We see him at Walmart or whatever. And my heart goes out to them because they did not grow up in an environment where they even had a chance. So it is time to teach our fathers how to raise up sons and daughters. Still something I'm learning. But FYI, if you're interested, if you're a male and you want to know how to become a man, or you want to learn what it looks like to become a man, a great guy to watch right now is Mark Driscoll. Mark Driscoll Ministries on YouTube. He's a pastor, Trinity Church in Arizona. Not Phoenix, not Flagstaff. It's part of Phoenix. I don't know. Trinity Church down in Arizona. Mark Driscoll, Driscoll. He's banging. He's got short videos, got long videos. I encourage you. He's not holding back. He is, I wish there was 1,000 more of him out there online, teaching, coaching young men. We need it. We need it desperately. So I encourage you to go check him out. Women too. So let's hit the comments, and then we'll probably get out of here shortly. Hello, I am the first. Am I the first? You were the first Green Hubs to comment. Thank you for joining me. I saw you put out another video working on the old car. I haven't watched it yet. Haven't had a chance. So I'm going to check that out after this sometime tonight. Sandy is second. And Joyce has let me know I was live. Thank you, Joyce. Green Hubs. I'll just say that real men don't have feelings. Green Hubs. Well, we do. We do have feelings. Um, and, I don't know. Churches will say, well, men should get together and share their feelings and stuff. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if we need to share our feelings. I think we need to surround each other with more men instead of, real men that are rough, little tough, getting on each other, holding each other accountable, and making sure we're not wussies. What that looks like, I'm not sure, but we need to the church in America, or the powers that be, or whatever, the world, and the world has made men feminine, and has created feminine men, and the church is following along in a way. So it's time for the church to just be a little bit more bold and make men again. So, hey Caleb, how are you? Nicole says that can be difficult for a child, especially if it opens up the door for unscrupulous people to take advantage of the parents' diverted attention. Yeah. Children are in such a fragile, vulnerable state, and the way David and Nikita explained it well, but so vulnerable, right? And when something happens, they're not ready to cope, and it's so sad because everybody kind of goes through it. Most people, anyway. Everybody's a strong claim, but I would guess everybody at some level, all people go through it. It's the sin nature of this world. But if we can come back to a healthy feminine mom, masculine father in the home, ruling, the father leading the family the way he needs to be, drawing all his strength and leadership from God, that's the best case scenario. There is no better situation, period. You can argue with me all day long, but if the husband is following Christ, if the husband is deeply rooted in Christ, then he will lead his family correctly. Not perfectly, correctly. And it's the best case scenario. So, Tracy Fleetwood is a member. She has a Amish washing machine. Thank you for being a member, Tracy, and the support. She claps her hands, I believe that's what it is, or waving her hands, saying hi. Hi, Tracy. Good to have you here. Yuckster Thorazine, can a person be atheist and still be Amish at the same time? No. You could fake being a Christian and be Amish, but you couldn't openly be atheist and Amish, I don't think, at the same time. I don't know how that would work. That's interesting. Atheist and Amish. Obviously I'm a believer, a Christian, so I think you're crazy for being an atheist, but that that doesn't mean we can't, be friends. So as an atheist in an Amish community, like that's just like completely opposite. So I don't know how that would work. I think you would have to fake it at some level. You would have to fake it. It probably wouldn't be that hard. You don't necessarily have to read your Bible, but you would just have to sit in. You would have to go to church. Like if you're not going to church, then no, you'll get kicked out. So interesting question. If you're interested in being Amish, I would encourage you to not be Amish. Just live like them. Ditch the TV, ditch the smartphone. If you're living in an Amish community, you could even ditch your car. If you're not living in an Amish community or around the Amish, it would be kind of hard to be the only one driving a horse and buggy. So, yeah, that's doable. Kylan, so awesome to hear you sharing about yourself. My family and I deal with PTSD and a lot of the same things. Yeah, so yeah, I hope Kylan, I hope that's how you pronounce your name, that you guys can get through that you guys can work through that. For sure, watch that video. Mark Driscoll has some great stuff on just family. We started listening to a deal with being the fixer in a family, like, husband and wife. The wife is always the one trying to fix everything in her family, all the problems and stuff, which now puts the burden on her husband and family as well, and all that stuff. And there's so much. There is so much to learn, so much because of all the sin in this world, the sin nature of everything, and the way we've crashed as a good family, stable people. There's so much chaos, and it's hard to work through it all. But there's so much to learn, and it can be done. Just got to put the effort into it. So, Kylan, I think that I was reading one of your comments earlier about keep putting out more Amish content. I'm gonna try to. I think I'm kind of running out of Amish content. I don't know what to talk about anymore. So as things pop up, I'll throw it up there. But Eli Yoder. I think Eli Yoder. Then there's Lizzie. Is it Lizzie? Not Lizzie. Elsie. There's a female on TikTok, and I think they're doing just the greatest job of sharing everything. And they come from real Amish, like the Schwarzentrooper Amish, really strict Amish. Where I come from, a more liberal community, where we weren't really that much different than normal people. Yes, we dressed Amish, we drove horses and buggies, we didn't have electricity, didn't have TVs, obviously, but we were still, we interacted with them daily in school, everything. So we weren't that different. Not like the Schwarzentroopers. But, all right, guys, I hope that was a worthy chat, a live chat. Something, I'm glad a friend, somebody shared, colleague, I don't know what you call it, what you would, a guy, another guy shared with me. He was talking with me. We were talking about ministries and all that stuff. But he asked me if I've ever done like a Bible college or thought about Bible college or something. And I am super glad he said something, because I have, most of the time in my life, I would try to get up in the morning and I would read scripture for like a half hour before going to work. I can't do it in the evening. I'll just fall asleep. And I've always struggled with, as I'm reading, I can read even a novel or anything. I can read and my mind is completely elsewhere. I'll have to back up and reread it, because I'm reading, but I'm not getting what the book is saying, because I'm thinking of how am I going to deal with, how am I going to handle this, or how am I going to build this, or how am I going to, so lately I've stopped reading scripture in the morning, because as much as I try, as much as I pray about it, I can't stay focused. I'll read, I'll be trying to read, and my mind's elsewhere. So I'm really glad he said something, because now just mentioning Bible college is like, aha, if I take some online courses, that will engage me. I'll have to interact, and I think that's going to be good. So I think I'm going to head into that and try to do some of that. Yeah, so that might be for the future. I don't know how much time that will take, but yeah, as the Amish content comes up, I will be sharing it. I have another video, a shorter one, couple minutes. As soon as I get it edited, I'm going to throw it up there. But you might get some random stuff. I threw out the bike rack thing, how to fix the Yakima bike racks. And the only reason I did that was just so it's on there, because when I went searching for it, I couldn't find anybody I found people on YouTube who had problems, the same problems I did, but nobody on how to fix it. So that was just a random, not trying to get views or anything, just throwing it out there so that somebody can save them a couple $100 by fixing it that way. Anyway, I'm CJ. We just had another look for BSF Bible Study Fellowship near you. Okay. Let me see if I can screenshot that. I remember how. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Thank you for that, Robert John Thomas. Bible study fellowship near you. I don't know if I want to go anywhere. I already have so much going on. It'd be easier just doing something at home. I think I'm going to start with carm.org, CARM.org. I think they have three shorter things I can do. They're not expensive, so I might do that. And then I heard there was, Calvary Chapel does an online thing, so I might get into that. But BSF, I'm going to check that out. Bible study fellowship near, okay. So I'm going to check that out. Kyla said, I know we love Eli and Lizzie Ines. Yeah, Lizzie Ines. There we go. That's her name. But we love you too. Okay. I really get, so Kylan says, I know we love Eli and Lizzie Ines, but we love you too. I really get you about running out of content. Whenever you have any news or happenings from the Amish community, would be cool stuff. Yeah, so, and another problem is, another thing is I think it's easier for Eli and Lizzie, maybe I'm just making excuses here, but it's easier for Eli and Lizzie to do the content they do. Lizzie keeps it pretty clean, but Eli, people don't like Eli. Amish people don't like Eli because, he's not lying about anything, right? But he's just very forward, and I think it's okay. I have no problem with Eli. I think it's great. He exposes a lot of things, but he rubs Amish people the wrong way, because he comes from a really strict community. So Eli and Lizzie, they don't really ever see their parents, and the chances of their parents seeing the videos is slim. So they can be more out there forward. I don't think Lizzie is, but Eli can be more just open and show his feelings, right? Just share. Where as me, I see my parents on a weekly basis, and I see my siblings all the time, and I don't like Amish people, even in their communities. There's a lot of great Amish people. They're most of them are awesome, nice people, and wouldn't harm anybody, So I'm really conscious about what content I put up there. I try to be as honest as I possibly can. Eli, he might talk more about, these Amish can have this and can't have that, and it's whatever, the material things. But, I don't know. I thought that way for a while when I was younger, but whatever. If they choose not to have electricity but want generators, okay. Fine, that's not a big deal. If they choose to not have Honda engines for their water pumps and windmills only, that cool. But my problem would be then, don't make it part of the church. But yeah, it's whatever. I'm not going to get into that. It's the biggest issue is, and Eli would agree, is their salvation. Knowing that they're saved would change everything, in my opinion. So yeah, I watch Eli and Lizzie's content all the time. Another guy, Amish America, I'm a little jealous of Amish America, to be honest, because he is in a really good position. I just popped up a video, just shared a video today of a clip came from his channel. He's in a really good position because he's known so many Amish people. He's been in all the communities. He has all this information from all these years. He knows more about all the communities than most of us Amish do, because he's just been everywhere. And now he's doing live streams with Amish people, and it's awesome, But it's a lot easier. The reason I'm kind of jealous is because it's a lot easier for him to do that than it is for me. So this Amish woman that he did an interview with, she would agree to do it with him, I'm guessing, a lot sooner than she would agree to do it with me. And the reason being is because Amish America, he doesn't have the experience of growing up Amish. Even if he knows about it, he doesn't have the right to share, the bad stuff about the Amish community because he really doesn't know. Like he doesn't know the control, the cult-like control they have over us as kids, right? Or as Amish members. So he really can only share the good, and he should only share, what he sees. So since he doesn't show any of the negatives or doesn't share any of the negatives on his channel or website, this Amish woman will agree to do a live stream with him because she knows that nothing bad's going to be shared. Versus if I went and asked her if she looked into some of my videos and the disagreements we have, she won't like me as much, even though what I'm saying is true. So the chances of her doing an interview with me is going to be almost zero. So yeah, in a way, I'm a little, like kind of envy him a little bit because he can put out good content like that. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Also, I'm around this Amish community, but I don't want to stick my camera in people's faces, like take pictures and stuff like that, because they don't appreciate it, and I wouldn't appreciate it if I was them. It's hard to get video content of it, and so in the meantime, I'm just kind of building up some B-roll, getting shots from the distance, doing what I can. And I'll just have to use that B-roll in my videos to try to make them more interesting if I do continue with Amish content. I would love to interview Amish people. I honestly would. And maybe I should try. Maybe I should, one thing I would love to do, and if anybody knows a person who'd be willing to do it, they don't have to be on camera. I just want their voice. I would love to interview them, an actual Amish person, on their beliefs and why they believe, why are they still Amish, why Amish, and just let them talk and not, even though I would disagree, just let them say what they say, and you guys can judge. You guys can decide for yourselves, what you think of it. But just let them speak their voice. That would be, I think, one of the coolest things ever. But I don't know. I can't think of anybody who's willing to do that. So Tracy says, glad to catch you live. Have a great week. You too, Tracy. You have a good week. Be blessed. Kathy Wilkins, Eli is an amazing Christian. I love his understanding of the scripture. I know he's done so much. He's done so much. I am glad he blew up the way he did, because it's getting out there, and you can't tell me that some of those Amish kids who are sneaking phones around aren't hearing what he's saying and starting to question things. That's how it happens. So, yep, wonderful ministry he has. But it is, I've heard my siblings talk about him, the ones who are in Rumspringa who have phones, and they don't like him. He just rubs them the wrong way, but it's because they're still defending the Amish side of it, right? We naturally would do that. The good part about BSF is the fellowship and accountability. Yep, that would probably be good. It would be better going somewhere. I for sure, instead of just doing it at home, but maybe if I could fit that in, I don't have to talk to. I got so many irons in the fire, but I need to get back into scripture. And I think that's the only way that's going to work right now, is if I get involved somehow. I'm sure there's books and stuff that I could do as well, but. For now, I think I'm going to do Carm, and then I'm going to look for something else. Great point about Eli. Even if you ever have another Saturday night in Lancaster, that'd be fun to see. But yeah, Amish America does have an advantage. We understand. Yeah, and I don't know if it's an advantage because, well, I don't know. Yeah, he just gets to share. He shares a lot. Like it's a valuable channel. I go to his website all the time for information. It's valuable, very valuable, and I think it's great what he's doing. So, but you know, he just doesn't have the feeling side of it, because what he'll see in Amish, like he'll only see the good in Amish people, unless he is really close with some Amish guys who will share their struggles with him. The outsiders never see what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm sure he's seen some of it, but I don't know that it's, I don't know that it's his responsibility to talk about it. Yeah, he's doing great. Amish Rescue Mission. We have one. So is one video up there? Awesome. Go check out Amish Rescue Mission. I'll link it in the description box below this live stream. I was looking for it earlier, but I didn't see it. So awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Or unless it's Lisa, or who's the other, Cindy? But yeah, thank you, Amish Rescue Mission. Of course, you guys prayerfully consider donating to, tithing even, to Amish Rescue Mission to help support, their mission, the voice they give the little Amish kids who are in abusive situations, who don't have a way out. That's cool too. You have a great videography skills, and I would definitely love to see some interviews from you, especially from someone at the Amish Rescue Mission. I have done interviews with Rachel, a good one. Go check that out. There might be some more stuff coming. Yeah, we also, you're talking about someone who will share. Yes. Are you talking about someone actual still Amish who will share? That who will, because I want somebody, like I'll love to share anybody's testimony he wants to share. I'm game. Let's do it. But I'd also like to, just to see the other end. I'd like to an Amish person defending the Amish, to hear their side. Not a debate, just to hear their side and why. I think that would be interesting to see. Us ex-Amish, y'all, all you hear is us ex-Amish people's experiences and thoughts, right? So I'd like to get the other one. Oh, okay, yep. So, well, I'm gonna be talking to you. I'll contact you. But yeah, so is the video up? Am I speaking to Rachel here? Is one of the David and Nikita's videos up? Because I'm gonna share if that. Yeah, I want to share. I really want to share because they talked for an hour before we were able to ask questions, and I want to share, definitely to share that section. So, yeah, Amish Rescue Mission is moving forward from as much as I understand, in a very, very good way. So I don't know if there's more resources, more time. Yes, I will share. Okay, perfect. So she's going to share. It's not shared yet. So I'll let you guys know. I'll share it on my channel as well, the link at least. But yeah, Amish Rescue Mission is moving forward. I'm kind of excited. So somebody's contacting a lot of people in authority, people who need to know about the Amish and how they operate in those abuse situations, and they're wanting to learn. So that's exciting. Yep. So happy to support. Kylan says so happy you support them and spread this awareness for the Amish Rescue Mission. They need all the support possible. Yep, for sure. And yeah, it's a good cause. I have not ever regretted supporting them or helping in any way. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny because at 28, 29 years old, I discovered abuse happening in Amish communities for the first time in my life, right? 28 years old. Never dreamed it. I was blown away that there was Amish men walking around the community, people I worked with possibly even, that were abusing their kids. And I'm gonna let the dog in. And from that moment on, I was, you have to step over it. Yeah, I had a heart for it. And I was, at that time, I was like, well, why isn't anybody doing anything? What's going on? Like, we need to, like, I was talking to some Amish people, and I was like, well, what can we do? What do we do? Let's do something. Like, do we put something in their magazine, the blot or whatever, like that? And I just got blank. Like, well, yeah, we should do something. We should, that's it. So, not knowing where to go with it, I didn't know what to do. So and then I moved to Idaho. But then when Rachel called and talked, co-founder of Amish Rescue Mission, I jumped on board because that's it. That's how we do it. Now, if we could just convince more of the Amish community to jump on board and educate their kids, that would be huge. Some of them are. Some of them demand that their kids be taught, but they get shut down. I talked to a preacher who's all on board. He's like, yeah, we need to teach it in school. We need to teach abuse and all this stuff in school. We need to, the perpetrators need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. It needs to be reported and all that. But he was threatened to lose his ministry, his preacher status, if he doesn't shut up. So, in our eyes, we would, then lose it. But it's not that simple. It's really not that simple. That would be, I'm not in his shoes. It would be hard for him, but because of what they believe about it and all that stuff. So just glad he was trying. So anyway, I got to go. Be watching for those videos. We'll see you guys later. I'm going to go eat dinner. I think that my wonderful wife made. I heard her cooking something. So you guys have a good week. Be blessed. And there's that cat again.
Bye.
We have animal situation. We have a 800 square foot house. 2 dogs. One can barely can't walk up steps apparently. And another dog who's so full of energy. And then this cat who was outside now moves inside for the winter. Who will be going back outside in the summer. But it's Ella, a.k.a. Midnight.
AKA Ellie.
Ellie, Midnight. She's Midnight. We'll see you guys later. You guys have a good week. Thank you for watching.
Adios.
Stop streaming.